Pass over the middle. 13-3 Big Red. Tight formation, turn. Toss it off to a little end around by Barney. He's at the 10-5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Ja'Cory Barney slips in there, taking the pitch on the end around from 10 yards out. Nebraska stretches the lead to 20-3.
Left side swing, Rubin block back covered. Again, Rubin left pin, cross court. There's Olivia Malk with a beautiful in-system dig. Right side, Merritt Payson. Kaboom! That's volleyball. Pass by Delaney. Here come the Huskers to the side. Jackson gets you do it again. Kaboom! Waking babies, if there are any, in downtown Louisville. 16-14 Nebraska.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
How can you beat a Monday with not one but two Monday Night Football games? It's going to be fun tonight. Jags and Bills here in about 23 minutes. And then the normal time of 7:15, you got Washington and Cincinnati. Good stuff going on there tonight. Welcome back. Another week of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you had a good weekend. You had the entire weekend because of the football game being on Friday night. Gave everybody a free Saturday, which I'm sure everybody enjoyed that. If you were able to wake yourself out of the doldrums of a disappointing Friday night finish with Illinois besting the Huskers in overtime, and a really good football game. And I talked to some people around the country over the last 48 hours ago. Hey, I know you all are disappointed here in Lincoln, but where I was sitting in Texas or upstate New York, a couple of people that I talked to, they said that was a really entertaining football game, and it was. It just didn't turn the way that the Huskers wanted it to turn. And, Jess, I got to tell you, and you were there, I was not in the stadium that night, and again, thanks to Bill Dolman for filling in for me on Friday. I never felt like we were going to lose. I felt like even late in the third quarter or fourth quarter, I go, we're gonna make the play to win. We kind of have control of this thing. And then it just flipped, and just very disappointed. I'm sure everybody leaving the stadium was very, very disappointed Friday night.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and like you said, I thought the same thing. I mean, yeah, there were times that I think both sides of the ball and even special teams, you're like, oh, that should have been better, and but they kept responding. You know, like when the defense would need a stop, they would get a stop, or when the offense needed a score. And so it just seemed like that Nebraska would make the last play to be able to win that thing. And I know they were disappointed because there were certain issues, and we heard Coach Rhule talk about it. The yards after contact, the missed tackling, that being now 2 weeks in a row that he said that. I think a couple of the special teams issues, like you make that field goal, maybe it's a different game, or you score a touchdown there. You got to figure out how to make those plays, and that's what Coach Rhule has said. But I think ultimately they were disappointed because they're better than that. And so, but I also, too, lean towards the fact of, and the expectations now have changed, and I could tell that, with Coach Rhule in the TV show today and then in his press conference, I mean, there are certain expectations now for this team. You know what you're supposed to do, and when it's not done, and the things that they expect every week, the physicality, some of those things, that's when it's disappointing. But I feel like that could end up being one of the tougher matchups this season. I was pretty impressed with Illinois and the way that they play, and they're a lot like Nebraska and the physicality part of it. And so most of the time, I think you're going to line up against teams that you feel like you are the more physical football team, and you can play the way you want to play. But I feel like Illinois just did it better a little bit at times that it ended up allowing them to win that game.
Luke Altmaier was great. He really was, and he got honored today by the conference, and he should. He played really good football for them, and I've been a Luke Altmaier fan. I've liked what he's done, and he kind of put it together in that game Friday night. But you're right. We've talked about in the last couple of weeks, this team has been penalized quite a bit. You go back to the Colorado game. That was kind of the one chink in that game was the number of penalties. Well, that reared its head. And then the yards after contact, the leaky tackling that we saw against Northern Iowa continued a bit Friday night against Illinois. And Illinois really in the second half got their ground game going. Ended up with 166 on the ground for the game, with Fagan really kind of being a man among boys in that fourth quarter. Ended up with 5.8 yards a carry. That was huge. But, I think there was one play that really made a huge difference in the game, and it was an overturned call, which I think they probably got it right. It was the touchdown catch by the Huskers that the DB ripped the ball away at the end and had it when the play was over. Great play by him. But if that call stands, we don't go to overtime. Nebraska wins that thing in regulation. That's how close the margin is. And I think some of the topic today in the press conference was That's how close things are in the Big Ten Conference. It's a play like that that can make the difference between winning and losing. We got to find a way to make those plays. And, you know, I don't want people to hang it on one missed kick. There was a lot more, and Coach Rhule was adamant today a couple of times saying it was not on the one missed kick. There were a lot of different plays in that game. But to me, overturning the touchdown call, and again, I think they probably got it right, unfortunately, was a huge, huge play in the game. It took 7 points off the board for us.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that completely changes the trajectory of a football game right there if you get that touchdown. And Isaiah Neyor, said after the game, I know he was disappointed. I could see it on the sideline. And then Coach Rhule came over, and I had said this on the broadcast as well. He came over after that and really challenged those wide receivers. And if your quarterback's going to give you a chance to go make a play, you got to make it. And I asked Isaiah about it after the game. He said, I wasn't physical enough with the football. And so, again, going back to what Coach Rhule had said about, we got out physical, I guess, they were the more physical football team, and that's another instance of that. I think we lean towards on the defensive side of the ball, but it's also on the offensive side of the ball, and that was one of those instances to where Neyor said, I was not physical enough with the football. And then he comes back and then he makes another heck of a grab in the end zone, at the end of the half, but I know that was something that, I think they'll get corrected now that it was 2 weeks in a row. They need to, they have to, because I think they're going to continue to allow Dylan to make those kinds of plays and give those wide receivers a chance to go make a play. And, you trust them to do that. And you feel like that you got a good opportunity that they're going to win those 50-50 balls. And so I know that they took it to heart because that was 2 weeks now. And so they know they got to be more physical, and when they get those opportunities, they got to come down with it and not allow those things to happen. But, yeah, that would have been a big turning point as well. There, again, it's I feel like we've said this a few times and over the last few years, but there's one or two plays here or there that if you make them and you go make those kinds of plays, whether it's on defense or offense or special teams, whatever it is, it changes the game. When it's that close, one play here or there can really change the outcome of that game. But another word that you have heard a lot over the last couple of weeks on the defensive side of the ball is just not disciplined, and the penalties set up for how many points? For a couple of those penalties allowed for Illinois to have really great field position. That I know they scored at least a touchdown, I think, in a field goal off of 15-yard penalties that Coach Rhule had mentioned, and so that's got to get fixed. I mean, I know that sometimes you can say, well, that call shouldn't be made. It's kind of like in basketball. You got to figure out how that's being officiated, and then you got to be smarter, because those kinds of penalties are what could end up costing your team a game, a score, whatever it might be. And so they've got to be more disciplined, and I think that's first and foremost what they'll address on the defensive side of the ball, because a lot of the issues, when I talked to Deshaun Singleton after the game, it seemed like missed tackles, penalties, some of those things, the touchdown calls. What's the problem? He goes, we weren't disciplined enough. So all of those areas can get fixed by them being the disciplined football team that we've seen, the last couple of years, especially under Tony White. So I have full faith in the defensive staff, Tony White, the leaders on the defensive side of the ball. They'll get it fixed. But, yeah, they need to get it fixed. They need to get that fixed in a hurry.
To add to your point, 5 of Illinois' first downs came via penalties. So that's 5 drives you kept alive because of penalties on your defensive side of the football. Folks, we'd love your take on all of this. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. I see some texts coming in. We'll get to those here in just a minute. My takeaway, I really didn't have many issues with the offense Friday night. And no. I've gotten into some arguments with some people over the last 48 hours about that. To me, though, it was more of kind of the leaky defense and really special teams. We gave up another big kick return, missed the field goal, obviously. Just some, and that's been a couple of weeks in a row now that has happened. Special teams has got to get taken care of. And a lot of times when I do those opposition segment interviews, and I know we have a close game, I usually ask the other team, Jess, about, well, tell me about your special teams. Because in a lot of times close games, a special teams play here or there is going to make the difference. And I think in some ways that happened again Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they say the 3 phases, and they got to be good on all 3 phases. And in the Big Ten, Searle says that I feel like every single week. I mean, there are just so many instances. I mean, Coach Rhule brought it up in the offseason about how much he learned from that and playing in the Big Ten and from Iowa and watching Kirk Ferentz and the job he's done there. I mean, it's so important. And here or there, like a pin in a team with a punt. And, that was one of those issues is I think a punt was kicked the wrong way. I mean, it's just like those little things, they add up and can really end up costing you, when you give them field position, it's just not ideal. And so you've got to get that fixed. And then, I too am concerned about, you want to have confidence when you send your field goal unit out there that, hey, if for some reason, we don't get a touchdown here that we're going to guarantee 3. And I don't know if this team feels like it's a guaranteed 3, in those situations. And so I know that's an area that's got to get addressed too. We heard Coach Foley talking about that. They made some changes there, and Tristan Alvano didn't go last week. And so I know they brought in a new kicker to help with the coach the kickers. And so hopefully that helps as well. But I know that, Coach Foley was here last week and said, I know we got to get better. I am fully aware, and it's been an issue, and we've seen that there can be some big-time moments where special teams can make or break you in some of these games.
Yeah, you're right. Brett Maher, the former Husker great and longtime kicker in the National Football League, has now retired from the NFL, and he is now helping out with the football team and the kickers in particular moving forward. That should certainly help. One of our texts that came in said, if you're talking about margin and missed opportunities, the offensive play where Dillon just missed Luke Lindenmeyer on that 3rd and 3, that shot that was open in the end zone, just misconnected. That then turned into the field goal attempt after that. I personally, and as I'm watching the game and listening to you guys, Jess, in my mind, I'm like, I think I might go for this here. This is a 39-yard kick. John Hull has never lined up for this kind of a kick in his life yet. I think that was a lot of pressure on him to do that. I thought he hit the ball pretty well. He just missed it by a yard or so outside the left upright. But in my mind, I was kind of thinking, man, our best player is Dillon, so let's put the ball in his hands on 4th and 3. Tie game. Let's see if we can get the first down and get it down there closer. If we have to get stopped again on another set of downs, and now we're at a 29-yard field goal attempt, you feel much better that he's going to bang that through. But you're right. I don't have a name on who texted that in, but you're right. That's another close miss in that game. And
Greg, they had mentioned too that maybe Boucher didn't get it turned so the laces weren't spun. But I agree. I 1,000% agree with you. And again, there's a reason why I'm not coaching, and we're on this side of it. But you could tell how badly Dillon wanted the ball back. Was just so disappointed in himself. I mean, I wasn't concerned at all about his psyche or mentality, but he's just a competitor. You could tell he wanted to get the ball back in his hands, because that kind of play and missing, on that kind of wide open receiver, he was just kicking himself. And so you could tell he wanted another opportunity. And so I might have gone right back to him too, because you could tell he was pretty frustrated in himself and wanted to get another opportunity, because he's not going to miss like that very often. And so I might have leaned with you. I might have gone with you on that, just giving him another chance to right that wrong, because I know that he was pretty frustrated with himself.
Ride with your best players. Ride with your best players. In basketball, get the ball in the hands of your best player late in games. In football, same thing. And right now, I don't think there's any doubt it's Dillon. And Dillon played really well. In fact, we got a clip coming up later on from Coach from today about he just thought Dillon was, again, fantastic the other night in that game. Now, some areas of concern coming out of that game, Jess, and you were all over it Friday night in the broadcast with the injury situations. The plantar fasciitis that's bothering Tommy Hill, that is big. But now, Turner Corcoran out for maybe a while with a bad hammy. You're down to a third-string tackle. That is really testing the depth in a critical position in football, and that's being your left tackle, the blind side tackle to your quarterback. Yeah, really, really unfortunate. And, for as little as I had to do injury reporting the first couple weeks, first 3 weeks, it was those were two that you do not want to have to report on, Tommy Hill and Turner Corcoran, that's for sure. But
I thought Gunnar Gatula did a pretty solid job, and it was great seeing Teddy Prohaska over there coaching him up. And boy, they were pumped. Right when I think it was the first offensive series that he goes out there, and they end up running. Maybe it was the sweep to Nair, was that right? But they went right to him on his side, and he was celebrated big time. It was neat to see how many people were like, yeah, like celebrating him when he came off. I do think, just from what I could see and gather, and hey, you've got the personnel to do it. While you're bringing in some of those young tackles, you do have some guys, those blocking tight ends that maybe you can bring over to help protect a little bit. And then I feel like they can scheme around using those guys a little bit more, where they can bring them in to help block, but then also maybe utilize them in the short passing game. But you got some guys there in that tight end room that are really, really excellent at the pass protection and all of that. And so hopefully they can utilize Lindenmeyer, Liebentritt, even Fedoni's done a great job too, and get those guys in there to help if it's needed on that left side while they get those guys going. But I thought, and Coach Rhule said the same thing, he was pretty impressed with Gunnar Gatula and how he stepped in that moment.
Yeah, I thought he did a nice job. He could walk out of there proud and happy. I know I think he had a false start late, but I think he overall, first time really being in the fire in a game that mattered, a game that was tight. I thought he acquitted himself very, very well against a pretty solid defense there for Illinois. All right, folks, a lot of talk of football tonight. 402-413-2400. The texts keep coming in. Fire up the phone lines. We'd love to chat with you as well tonight on the program. Get your take on that game. The first of 9 conference games, so a long way to go. Purdue coming up next. Huskers have been established as a 10-point favorite on this road game for Saturday in West Lafayette. Cox Mobile is hosting Huskers Hangout, Omaha's official watch party this Saturday. It's at Smash Park in La Vista. Huskers legend Eric Crouch is going to be on hand from 10 to 11 for a meet and greet with the fans, and then the game will kick off on Peacock this week at 11 o'clock. The event's open to the public. All ages certainly welcome. Husker Hangout presented by Cox Mobile this Saturday at Smash Park. Love that name, right? In La Vista. Go get some more information at huskers.com/hangout. We're back with more of the show coming up next.
It's time again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
IT issues wreaking havoc on your day? It's time to hire the experts. It's time to hire Hamilton. When it comes to your business, you don't have time to worry about network security, data backup, and protection, or support when devices slow down or stop working. At Hamilton, we ensure that your technology is up to speed and works as hard as you do. Don't let IT issues slow you down. You deserve better. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the fresh Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hoving here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game. Thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealers, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Good to be back with you. Greg Sharpe along with Jessica Coody. Post the Illinois game, getting ready for the first road game of the year. The Purdue Boilermakers coming up on Saturday. All right, phone numbers, text numbers, same. It's the same. We made it really easy for you. 402-413-2400. We got some callers. Jess, let's get to them.
All right, let's start with Pete in West Point, one of your faves.
Yes.
So we'll start with Pete here.
How you doing?
How's it going,
How you guys
Pete?
doing? Good. Hey, that was the first game I took my grandkids down to, and they really, really enjoyed it. I was sitting next to a Illinois alumni, and he flew up from Texas for the game, and he said he goes to just about all Illinois games. He said that was the best game environment that he's ever been to. He was super, super impressed.
Yeah, it was incredible. And the The sign flip, how everybody, they followed instructions and it was like perfect, spot on. And then the drone show, the drones worked and it was around the 400 sellout and the no place like Nebraska. It gets, I feel like it gets better and better every week. But the sign flip was awesome. That was really cool to see. And nobody messed up and mixed up their signs. I heard there might have been a little bit of that shuffling in the student section, but they got it right before it was their time to shine. And so it was spot on perfect. I agree.
Yeah, they've really done a lot for the fans, for the entertainment, the way they do the videos, the music, and so on and so forth. There's something going on pretty much for the fan all the time. So very, very impressed with the environment. On the football note, I do think our defense was kind of unprepared. A lot of players didn't know who to cover. They kind of looking around, not knowing what to do. I've seen some receivers just totally wide open. I think our defense was a little confused or maybe not prepared enough for this game.
I think, and Pete, we talked about that in the first segment. Leaky yardage was a problem against Northern Iowa. The tackling wasn't as crisp as it had been. And I think you're right. I was really surprised Illinois kind of had their way. Their plan was terrific, so credit their coaching. Not that Nebraska didn't coach well, but we just didn't execute at the level that we've kind of come accustomed to with Tony White.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Hopefully they'll get it corrected and defense will get it back on track.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Pete. Have a good one. Okay, up next, let's go to Sioux City and Scott. Scott, can you, oh no, I messed up.
Operator
error. Hold on. There we go. I think I got it. Scott, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Were you supposed to go to somebody else?
No, I mispunched a button, so just making sure you could hear us.
All right. In overtime, my comment is, which I haven't heard anything about, was when Illinois made the big play on the left side of the field and they gave them line of scrimmage on the 4-yard line, the guy stepped out of bounds clearly on the 6, and they didn't look at that and nobody spoke of it. But if you replayed that, which they didn't do, which could have been a huge thing in another game, but that was one play on the officiating. And then the other play was when we were backed up to, I don't know if it was 2nd and a mile, but he threw a pass down the left side and our guy caught it and went out of bounds. And there was contact after that. And that should have been a 15-yard penalty given us first and 10. It wouldn't have brought it all back, but it would have been 1st and 10, and they decided not to call that too. So I don't think we could have stopped Illinois irregardless because they had way too much momentum. The thing that they had going for them in the game that we did not is they were able to string a lot of small plays together, and we had to kind of rely on big plays. In order for them to be a force to be reckoned with, we have to develop small plays and be able to ram them down people's throats. He's been throwing a lot of good crossing routes. This is longer passes down the field, but poor loss. But I don't like that officiating in overtime. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. I didn't have a huge problem with the bump out of bounds. What I did, Jessica, I did not like the finger wag in John Hull's face after he missed that was clear taunting. That absolutely should have been flagged. That probably should have been flagged too on the hit in front of the Husker bench. But the taunting of John Hull, you cannot do that. And I've seen a lot less flagged for that. But I just don't want to get caught up today in blaming the officials for that. And Scott, you put it perfectly. You said, Illinois had all the momentum. They certainly did. But we could pick officiating apart pretty much every Monday when we come back on after games on this show.
And I will say, to his point about they were kind of bleeding the clock, and that's what Coach Rhule had said, is that our offense was rolling. They were moving, and they couldn't get the ball enough, much like, a little bit in the first half last week. And so I don't necessarily agree with some of the, we need to be able to run the football more. I mean, the offense was doing their job. They couldn't get the ball enough, and I think that was a couple different. Now, going back to last week, and you and I had the long drive. It was over 10 minutes long, and then Illinois seemed to just really keep Nebraska off the field, and that's where the defense has got to be able to get off the field. But I don't really have a problem at all with the play calling. It was what was there, and I think that's what they saw. I think they saw some areas they could take advantage in the Illinois defense, and it was with those wide receivers like Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nayer that they could take advantage of, and they did. I mean, they both had huge games, and they were able to exploit that. I think they took what the defense gave them, and I understand that people want to see the football run, but I have no problem with the offense and what the offense did, other than maybe the missed opportunity for a touchdown. Well, the as you talked about, the jump ball with the interception that got overturned, and then missing the field goal there in that one series. But I thought the offense played pretty solid.
You and I are lockstep on that. Before we get to the phones again, Sam in the chat room says, can we get an official's perspective on the touchdown interception call? Well, because I was on the bench Friday night, I got to watch some of the Fox broadcasts, and they had Mike Pereira, who's their lead officials guy, does NFL and college for them. He said that they got the call right. He goes, it's a tough one to overturn, but he goes, they got it right, that you got to complete the catch to the end of the play. And when the end of the play was there, the Illinois defensive back was the one that had the football in his hands on his back. So there's Mike Pereira, about as good as they get on that. Do we have more callers?
Yeah, we do. We've got Jim Simpson from North Platte. Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I would thank you for the call. But you know what? I'll put it this way. I'm in my 70s. I got to watch teams in the 70s and 80s and basically 90s and 2000. When the offensive needed to score, they got the job done. When the defense needed to stop, they got the stop done. That has killed us the last 7-8 years because we cannot run the ball. We cannot stop the run. I want to get back to a bowl game. Go Big Red. Thank you.
Jim, thanks. Appreciate the phone call from out there in North Platte. And you're right. I heard the stat today. BTN had this. This is just, it blows my mind, Jess. In our last 39 games decided by a single score, we're 8-31. Now, that covers a large part of the Scott Frost era, not very much yet of the Matt Rhule era. But, my gosh, at some point in time, the luck of it just has to bend our way a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, at some point it's got to flip. It just seems like there are so many times that, and I haven't even been here this is my 4th season, but it's like, how many times do we sit here and be like, gosh, at some point
Yes.
it's got to switch. The tide has got to change. And I think it's coming. I feel like this team can make that tide change. Some of it is, hey, we got to take the bull by the horns and make it happen. And I do feel like this team has those guys, to be able to just go do it, just go get it done, and stop maybe, relying so much on other, leaving it in hands of the officials or whatever. I just go make a play and get it done, and the tide will change. So I do think this is the team that'll do it. They just got to go do it. Got to go do it.
Good. Keep the calls coming, folks. 402-413-2400. Also, the text line, same number if you prefer that mode of communication. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. More of the show coming up next.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Not All Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Tune in to the 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon presented by the Home Agency on September 26 to raise funds for childhood brain cancer research. Childhood brain cancer is a devastating disease affecting 5,000 children each year. Current treatments are over 40 years old and leave children with lifelong deficits. Team Jack is working to change this. Become a champion for a cure for just $20 a month. Every dollar counts towards discovering new treatments and ultimately saving young lives. Visit TeamJackFoundation.org to donate. Your contribution matters more than ever.
Live reports of a polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hovig here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Sports Alley brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. They've got offices in Lincoln and Columbus. Speaking of phone numbers, we got folks waiting to talk to us. Jess, where are we heading next?
Yes, and Husker Dan, we saw you calling. Just give us a call back. Sorry, we've had busy phone lines, so we always like to hear from Husker Dan. If he wants to call back the second hour, we'll get you on. But let's head to Greg. And it just says Nebraska, so Greg in Nebraska.
Yep. Hey, guys, I'm here.
How's it going?
Hey, it's going good. Combining corn.
Attaboy. How's it looking?
The yield could be just a little bit better, but that's how it goes. But hey, I'll get right to the point here. So my question is, so that the young cornerback came in, he played good. There's one particular play he sacked the quarterback. If you guys recall that play,
I'm trying to think about it.
The right cornerback kid.
Oh, Sear Wright. Yeah.
Sear Wright. Yep.
Yes. Yep. So he sacked the quarterback.
The one where he forced the fumble?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was watching from the TV, and after that play, it showed Ty Robinson on the sideline was really upset of something. And I just I couldn't see what was going on. I guess I just thought that I was kind of shocked because that was a big play, and I just kind of, but he seemed like he was, like something went wrong there.
Well, I'm not sure I can't remember what happened up until that point. I'm pretty sure the offense, maybe it might have even gone back to the series before, because the offense, I believe, maybe didn't have a really good series, and so then, but it might have even gone before that. I know that he is pretty frustrated. Again, he's one of the leaders, one of the captains, and they talk about how they're able to hold each other accountable and voice the concerns that they see. And I think they were not happy that they were getting outplayed physically, and because they hang their hat on that, so they were getting beat up physically, and the penalties. And I saw him call out a few guys on some of the penalties, and I think he even had one himself. And so I think he was, again, as one of the leaders on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think he was happy with how things were going, even despite that play. Yes, that was a big play, but there were maybe some issues that they were seeing before that they wanted to get corrected and be better for.
Gotcha. Okay. Maybe second question. I think it was in overtime. Gifford we were waiting for the play to come in from the sidelines, it seemed like. And it's like then they snapped the ball, and we were almost like still kind of waiting for the play to come in. Just kind of, it just seemed like we were, I don't know, they had us on our heels.
Yeah, and I think there was some communication, Greg. I appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call, and good luck getting that harvest done here in the coming weeks. I think there were some communication problems Friday night. Matt Rhule talked a little bit about it today. That needs to get cleaned up as well. That's those big moments in a game where your coaching staff's got to be locked in sync and get a call in. And, those were two bad plays for the defense in the overtime. They sealed us on the edge on the run. They took it down inside the 5. And then they had the leak tight end out in the flat that was wide open. So, I just think there was a little bit. We were on our heels. There was no doubt. Everybody was, and we got to get over that hump. And that's the challenge of this coaching staff here in the coming weeks. Jess, I think we have time for one more before we go to the break.
All right. Let's head out to Minnesota. Tim in Minnesota. Tim, you there?
Hey, guys. Yeah, can you hear me okay?
We got you.
Okay, good. We go rapid fire here. And anyway, first one's about the offensive line. It sounded like they were doing a pretty good job overall, but I was wondering about the series where Dylan was sacked all those times, just killed the chance to answer the touchdown with the touchdown. First question is, would you say that was due to the injuries, or were we getting tired? It seemed that was a big concern of mine in that way, or maybe a little bit of both. Second point is, we were talking about penalties. It goes back to what Rhule and Osborne would say: control the controllables. Heck, even applies to life. I was even thinking about that today with my work. And third thing is, welcome back, Greg. But I gotta say, I thought Bill Dolman did an excellent job. It just seemed like a good fit. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him. But I am pumped, though, Greg, to have you back. Bill is kind of like what I would say Don Strock, or maybe Gifford Nielsen, take your pick, or Husker context, someone like Clete Blakeman. Once the start comes back, they're going to be the man. But Bill did a really nice job. But great to have you back.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate the phone call. I'll just pick off these real quick here. We've had Larry Putney, who's been kind of in the wings for us. Kevin Kugler was ready to jump in there week one for me. And so we've got it spread out. Lane Grendel's going to join the group later on once the Brewers season ends up in Milwaukee. So a lot of people have stepped up. There's about 6 of them that have said they would prepare for a game, hoping they wouldn't have to do it. But I appreciate Bill jumping in there tonight. On the sacks, I'm not going to get overly concerned, Jess. We gave up 5. 3 of them were in overtime. So throughout the whole football game, we'd only given up 2 sacks. I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over that.
Right, exactly. I'm with you. I mean, I thought for the most part, and Coach Rhule seemed to agree that for the most part, O-line did a pretty solid job. So I'm going to follow the lead there, and I think especially getting thrown into that kind of situation against a defense like Illinois, I thought Gunnar Gatula and the rest of that line. Henry Lutoski too, he's a guy that's new in the starting role and this season, so I thought they held up pretty well.
Very good. Tim, appreciate the phone call. He dialed us up on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We're back to put a bow on hour one next.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Cameron in Omaha on our text line just said, hey, let's give Bielema some credit. They did a really nice job, and they did. That's a great text. Brett Bielema's a good coach. I mean, Jesse had that amazing run at Wisconsin. It did not work out for him at Arkansas in the SEC, but this guy could coach, and that's the thing. You're not going to get many cheapies in the Big Ten Conference. And, yeah, I mean, having said all the things we've talked about the Huskers, you do at times have to tip your cap. The other team, they got guys on scholarship as well.
Yeah, and he said, you know, they're a gritty, physical bunch. They are. They absolutely are. And Searles said that. He went back to playing Bielema teams when they were at Wisconsin. He said it's just so hard to face that team. It's like a heavyweight fight. I mean, they are just so physical, and he gets his teams to play that way. And, you know, that's a team that does what we want to do. And so there's not a lot of teams that can match the physicality that I think Nebraska wants to bring and should be able to bring. Illinois was one of those. So, yeah, tip your cap. They had a great game plan, and, you know, unfortunately, we're the more physical football team on Friday.
Fast first hour. We've got another hour to go, including some conversations with Jalen Reyes of Husker Volleyball. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88.
Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game. Thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Good evening, I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. It was announced earlier today that Husker basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg is set to have his pacemaker replaced this Friday. This will mark the second replacement for Hoiberg since it was originally placed in 2005. Earlier today, Nebraska football head coach Matt Rhule met with the media following Friday's overtime loss against Illinois. He was asked about players' leadership and willingness to step up in big moments. Here's what the coach had to say.
We have such good character, and we have such good effort, and we have such good leadership. We just have to play a little bit better. I played for Coach Paterno. At games like this, he'd be like, "Everybody settle down. We just got to make one more play. Just go make one more." And that's kind of how that game felt like. The ball's in our hands. We just don't quite cut down with it. But they make a play. It's a fourth down stop. They make a play. So I would just say that for us, like on our sideline this week, we can't worry about the officials or a call we feel goes against us. We can't worry about Tony and Sat and Ed trying to make the perfect call. Or our guys just have to go out and play, and we have to play loose.
Game time was announced earlier today for Nebraska's next home football game against Rutgers. The Huskers will kick off against the Scarlet Knights at 3 p.m. on October 5th. As always, if you can't make it to the game, you can listen right here on the HRN. Also in Husker football news, quarterback Dayton Raiola, younger brother of Dylan Raiola, announced over the weekend that he is committed to play for Nebraska. This makes Raiola Nebraska's first commit of the 2026 class. Earlier today, Huskers softball announced that they will start their 2025 season in Clearwater, Florida, at the NFCA Leadoff Classic. The first game comes with a test as they play Tennessee, a team that reached the Super Regionals of last year's NCAA tournament. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
One wide out to the near side. Emmett's the back. Snap back to Raiola. Looking, holding, throws over the middle. Down the middle. Pass caught. That's going to be a Nebraska touchdown. Isaiah Nair finds the end zone on a pass over the middle. 13-3 Big Red. Tight formation. Turn. Toss it off to a little end around by Barney. He's at the 10-5. Touchdown Nebraska. Ja'Cory Barney slips in there, taking the pitch on the end around from 10 yards out. Nebraska stretches the lead to 20-3.
Left side swing. Rubin block back covered. Again, Rubin left pin cross court. There's Olivia Malk with a beautiful in-system dig. Right side. Merritt Payson. Kaboom! That's volleyball. Pass by Delaney. Here come the Huskers to the side. Jackson gets you do it again. Kaboom! Waking babies if there are any in downtown Louisville. 16-14 Nebraska.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We are back with the second hour of our Monday edition of Sports Nightly. Programming note, our athletic director show for the month of September tomorrow night. Troy Dannon in studio at hour number 1. Our football show is Wednesday night. Head coach Matt Rhule in studio Wednesday. Volleyball show on Thursday. We think we get John Cook. We're not quite sure. Coach has been sending some of the assistants. He's never done that in the past, so I'm not sure what. Well, whatever. I guess when you're rolling like that team is, Jess, kind of do what you want. They were impressive yesterday. My goodness.
So good. So good. Well, one night he was scouting, so.
He was.
You know. But, just both matches against Stanford and Louisville. Hello, those were two top 5 teams that could not even remotely hang with Nebraska. Nebraska did everything they wanted and more, and so that was impressive. And maybe some people concerned about the start, maybe not looking as crisp, but you don't want to play your best volleyball out of the gate. And they were working in a lot of new moving parts, new moving pieces, but they continue to get better, and they were challenged in the non-conference. And so here we go. And opening up this weekend with USC and UCLA, and Allie Batenhorst making her way back to Lincoln. So that should be fun. That's always fun when the former players return, and I think she'll get a really nice reception.
She will. Yeah, she will. Don't peak too early.
Exactly.
Should I be worried? Should I be worried about that?
No, I don't think so. And that's what it's. We were sitting here talking about Andy Jackson today with Jalen Reyes for the dig, and I didn't have time because we were talking so much, but. Hey, we heard in the huddle yesterday about, they had the mics on the coaches and they were game planning around Andy Jackson. Okay, that's fine. There's plenty of other players on the court. I guess with this team, yeah, you certainly don't. But I don't worry about them peaking because they've got so much talent and so many good players and people on the bench you can turn to for a lift, for a spark that are, just phenomenal players that I think there's just too much talent to go around and they're on a mission. But I don't think any of them would say we played our best volleyball because I think they can point to a lot of things that they needed to do better despite the domination. And that's what's scary is that they can still say, oh, no, we can do this better. We can do this better. There's this, and this. And yet they still sweep 2 top 5 teams. So I think they'll continue to push and challenge, and they are hungry. It's a hungry group. They are motivated. So I'm not worried about them peaking too early. I think it took them a minute to get going, and that's okay. This is now the tough time of the year. You got Big Ten play night in and night out. It's going to be a challenge, no matter if they've got a number next to the name or not. So they got to come ready to play. And obviously they handled this part of the season really well last year. So hopefully more of the same. But hey, it only continues to get tougher from here as they move into Big Ten play.
Served really well, both in the Stanford match and the Louisville match. That was a big part. All right, back to football. Matt Rhule's presser earlier today. Going to get you a couple of clips from that. One of the things that when I walked away from the game the other day, I'm like, God, I just cannot believe Illinois was able to run the ball as well as they did against this Husker defense. Here's the coach talking about what Illinois' rushing attack did on Friday night.
They have still had a lot of yards after contact. It's the second week in a row I'm saying that's disappointing. I think I believe, if I'm wrong, forgive me, at halftime they had 31 yards rushing. You know what I mean? So it was really in the second half. Because I remember addressing that, like, hey, this is a. We predicted it. We told them, hey, guys are going to come out. They're going to go tempo, no huddle. They're going to run RPO it. So like when it happened, they were, we were really settled in. They adjusted as the game went on, and they found more runs. They ran some crack tosses. They ran some different things, and really at the end of the day, we just didn't get off blocks, and we didn't win third down. So, you can only run the ball when you're converting third downs because you can stay. If you run the ball, you're going to be in third down. And they were in third manageable. If they didn't get the third down, they got the fourth down when they went for it on fourth down. And we're not tackling at the level that we've seen us tackle at, and getting off blocks and at the level we've shown before. And so that's something that we have to improve this week.
I think that's really, of everything, maybe what is probably the most concerning is because this has been a good tackling team and the fact that they're getting the yards after contact. So hopefully they can get it addressed. It was something that he had mentioned last week. And so, and then he said, it's concerning that I've now got up here 2 weeks in a row and said that. So hopefully the tackling gets better because all of it affects everything, because then, hey, if your defense can't get off the field, then your offense can't do the game plan they want. They're sitting over there for a long time. And so it just, I feel like of all the things that was low on the list of what maybe could concern you about this team going into Big Ten play or going into the season, and it's now been a issue in back-to-back weeks. So hopefully they can get it fixed. But again, I go back to the leadership and the coaching staff, and I think that you got the people that you trust to get it right and to get it fixed in a hurry. And, hey, here's a good opportunity against Purdue on the road. They get fired up. This team loves playing on the road. Coach Rhule loves playing on the road. So, hey, get it right this week and then build off of it moving forward.
As we mentioned in hour one, in tight games, you can usually point to 4 or 5 things that went wrong that flipped the game. And that was kind of the case here, including a big punt return that Nebraska gave up. Here's the coach talking about how close Nebraska is and what they still need to do to get over that hump.
I put that on me. That's not, some coaches come and say, oh, it's on me. No, when that happens, I'm always like, this is typically things that happen in year 2. You have a couple games, and all of a sudden you have this game, you come back down, and you're like, all right, and then teach the guys, like, hey, you have to attack every game the same way in terms of your energy and effort and stay locked into the game. And then I have to find a way to get our team to, when the game gets tight, not get tight, but enjoy the battle and enjoy the competition. And I just felt really tight out there, in the second half. Except for some guys, Dylan doesn't feel tight. He's out there running around, let's go play. Some of the young guys don't, but, I think some of the older guys are, kind of like this, and then they start doing uncharacteristic things, as opposed to, I got Sam man, I'm just going to play him man. So I say that to say we have a good team. They have to just play well. And that sounds so simple, yet that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I had heard on the sideline is do your job, just do your job. You don't have to do more than that or less, just go do your job. And I think at times maybe when you get in a situation where things aren't working, you try to do more, and you don't have to do that. You got to trust the guys. And I hear that all the time. I can't tell you how many times in interviews I hear them say we got to trust the guy that we're out there on the field with, that they're going to do their job so we can do our job. It's just, so then it becomes like the snowball effect when you don't. And then, that's what allows teams to make some of those big plays. And so I know that was a message that I had heard a couple different times from a couple of different coaches, like, hey, you got to do your job. Just do your job. Do what we've asked you to do, and it will take care of itself. And so, yeah, that was definitely a messaging I heard quite a bit on the sideline.
Dylan Rhule continues to play good football. He went into last week's game completing 74% of his passes. And then against Illinois, very good defense, 24-35, 3 touchdowns. Just continues to play unlike a freshman. I mean, he just does not look like a guy that's in his first year playing college football. Here's the coach, and when asked about how Dylan graded out from Friday's game.
I thought Dylan was excellent. I thought he got fooled on the very first one. They went to zone, he didn't see it. He looked at the man side, and after that he said, I see the safety, and he was great at it, right? And seeing it, I thought we had chances, at the end of the day, we have 2 interceptions on the year, both are balls in our hands, right? So, we had a chance we catch that ball, we go up 2 scores, I thought Dylan saw the field well. The things Dylan has to do, we have to just keep working on protecting the football, right? Even 2 hands on the pocket. We put 2 balls. That one drive we had where we were backed up, we put 2 balls on the ground there. Obviously that can't happen. Then we got on them, but so there's a lot of things that he's working on. But his preparation is allowing him to see what's happening in game time.
Yeah, he is Mr. Calm, Cool, Collected. It's unbelievable. I mean, you just have to remind yourself, this is a true freshman over here, and the way he handles things and manages things and the way he sees things. And when he does make one of those mistakes or something that he can learn from, he comes right over, he gets on the iPad, he sees it right away, and then he's dissecting it with Coach Thomas. He's talking to the receivers. It's unbelievable. And, he's just one that, when there is something that needs to get corrected, you have no worries that he is going to get it corrected and learn from each opportunity. But it's really remarkable to see him, how he just orchestrates things, how he sees things, and then how he immediately can recognize because of the preparation beforehand, and then also just, his mind. We heard Eric Crouch talking about that the other day about, he's got a lot of physical talents, but it's also, his mind and how smart he is and how much he knows the game. I mean, it is really remarkable to see. So it's even in game how he's so quickly able to make some adjustments and immediately see some of the things that, okay, yeah, I should have seen that. Oh, yep, I can fix that. Or seeing he sees things in real time and then can come back and communicate that with the coaching staff. It's really, really special.
Yeah, that football IQ is really impressive for Dylan. All right, you mentioned it earlier. Here we go. First road game, and time to really kind of turn the page now and put Illinois in the rearview mirror. Get ready for the Purdue Boilermakers. Huskers were there a couple of years ago, and Purdue has been buried their last 2 games. Notre Dame just whipped them bad 2 weeks ago. They played a little bit better out in Corvallis against Oregon State, but came up well short in that game. Here's the coach talking about getting ready to travel for the first time this season.
Well, I think it'll be another battle. I hope we play well on the road. I think, there's nothing quite like getting in a hotel and, kind of just being us, and being in hostile territory. And, the great thing about us is we know our fans will travel. So it's not like it's like, you go somewhere and you don't see any red. We'll certainly have our fans there. But I hope our guys are looking forward to it. And, we had a great game with them last year. Hudson Card's an excellent quarterback. Maccabee's a tremendous tailback. They have Reggie Love as well, and they ran the ball for 250 yards last game. Their linebacker 4 is as good a player as there is in the Big Ten, leading the Big Ten in sacks. He had some big hits last year. So, and again, it's the same defense in many ways. So there'll be a lot of challenges that we tried to fix last week that now we'll have to see how we do it this week.
Yeah, I mean, I loved talking with the players after the game. I mean, that could be a real doom and gloom situation. And we've seen some doom and gloom, just body language over the last few years when there's been a game like that where you feel like you should have won. But these guys were determined. They were, all right, it's almost like they were ready to get back to practice and let's get this fixed and get back to winning. You get a taste of stringing together some wins, and hey, that's pretty fun. That feels pretty good walking off the field after wins. And so we'll see it on Saturday, and they got to be prepared in every way. But I feel really good about this team bouncing back and understanding that was one loss. We can't let it turn into 2, and we got to learn from it and get better and get prepared and be better for it on Saturday on the road.
I think this is a perfect opponent to play coming off the Illinois game. I really do. I think the matchup really favors Nebraska in a lot of ways. I'm not trying to put Purdue down, but this was a team picked in that preseason poll from the Cleveland Plain Dealer. This is a team picked last in the Big Ten Conference, Purdue was. So I think it's a perfect game for Nebraska to get healthy and get their mental state back in a good spot. Folks, tune in to the Team Jack Radiothon, presented by the Home Agency. On September 26th, your donation will support research to find treatments for children who are battling brain cancer. Visit teamjackfoundation.org to donate. We'll hear more about that radiothon coming up later on in the week here on Sports Nightly. All right, when we come back, Jessica earlier today caught up with Jalen Reyes, Husker assistant volleyball coach, for this week's edition of The Dig. We'll play you part of that coming up next.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88.
Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Hey Husker fans, Coach Rhule here, thanking you for your incredible support of Nebraska football. We're working every day to bring championship football back to Nebraska. Just as important is your contribution to 1890 Nebraska, the official NIL collective of Husker Athletics. Every contribution, no matter how small, makes a big impact. Your support helps us recruit and retain top talent, bringing a winning program that can compete at the highest level. Visit 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801-801 now.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
In the heartland, where ambition thrives, there are those who are made and those who are made for more. Just like the Huskers on game day, Kloss, a leading producer of ag equipment, unleashes the power of ambition in the field. Discover why our cutting-edge machinery and unwavering support aren't just a promise, they're a commitment to your success. Because at Kloss, we know you are made for more. Visit your Kloss dealer or CLAAS.com.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88.
Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Well, each week I get a chance to sit down with one of the Nebraska assistant volleyball coaches to break down all things Husker volleyball. Big week last week with 2 top 5 wins to close out the non-conference before they head into Big Ten play coming up this weekend with USC and UCLA. For today's guest, I had a chance to sit down with Jalen Reyes. A lengthy conversation. We're going to play for a portion of it for you right now here on Sports Nightly. Welcome back into another episode of The Dig right here on the Huskers Radio Network, presented by Emeritus. I'm Jessica Coody and joined again by Jalen Reyes. Thank you so much for being here. What a week for Husker volleyball.
Great week. 2 great opponents that we got to play against. Our team played amazing, and there was a little bit of adversity even during those matches.
Yeah.
And obviously getting to play Stanford is always a big one. Just the 2 histories of the 2 volleyball programs, and then playing at a really kind of hostile environment in Louisville in front of a bunch of people was really, really awesome again, and getting to play them on their home court where they're really, really good. It was a really good week for us. A little bit of travel, kind of our second road match. Official road match. Kentucky was more of a neutral site anyway. But yeah, it was great week for Nebraska volleyball.
If someone would have told the coaching staff that you guys would have swept both Stanford and Louisville last week, what would you have said?
I would have said awesome.
Would you have believed
I mean,
it?
I don't know. No, I guess, just because I think I have a lot of respect for those volleyball programs. Honestly, I individually, I can't speak for all the coaches, but I think I'm the guy, let's win 3 sets by 2 points, no matter who it is, because at the end of the day, it's kind of, they just put a W at the end of it or an L. So it's one of those where I just want to win 3 sets. And if it comes in a sweep, great. If it comes in 5, great. I mean, but no, I guess I would say no, just off the cuff, like really? Just because, I have a lot of respect for those 2 programs and those 2 coaching staffs for sure.
The way that the schedule had gone, you guys hadn't had much time to train and practice, and you were able to do that last week, right? A little bit more. How good was that, surrounding those 2 matchups with number 2, number 4, to have extra time to prepare and practice and get better?
Oh, it helps a ton. Just from a preparation standpoint, too, getting ready for those teams, and then also just being able to focus on our side of the net is a big deal. Just because when you play on Tuesdays sometimes, and then you end it with, their next match is on Friday, it's just tough just because of, you don't want to just jump hard into a hard training day the day before a match, and then day after a match, we kind of like to go light or not go at all. And then, if you're playing on Tuesday, okay, Wednesday is either off or short, and then, okay, you get 1 practice Thursday, but you're trying to prepare for something on Friday. So last week, in terms of the Wednesday, Sunday, I think just Wednesday, Sundays, we're used to that too, via being in the Big Ten, and sometimes we just play on Wednesday. We played on a lot of Wednesday, Sundays. Helped a ton. But yeah, I think just the preparation time, being able to just focus on the specific things that we need to get better at really helped us.
So let's go back to the Stanford match first. And again, you guys just really dominated from the start. How ready was this team to go against the Cardinal? I mean, I know there's a lot of history there. So how fired up was this team? How ready to go were they in that matchup?
I mean, I think there's no secret. That's an opponent. I mean, there's 5 or 6 of them. And, I think every opponent is really important. But I think just the history of the 2 volleyball programs, and a lot of our girls are recruited by Stanford too, and just like they're recruited by Wisconsin and Minnesota and Texas and Louisville, like these teams that there's certain measuring sticks that are out there, and Stanford is usually one of them for us, and I think we're maybe the same for them, and there was a different level of focus for sure. And I just thought the biggest thing, speaking on the defensive side of things, were just the attention to detail that the girls played with from the start. And I mean, it did not stop the entire night. I mean, I thought we came out the same way against Creighton, like going back a couple of weeks now. But then in the 3rd set, I felt like we let it slip a little bit, and then we lost a close 3rd set. Obviously, we got crushed in the 4th, and then that same level of attention to detail came back in the 5th set. I felt like the Stanford match, that attention to detail was there the entire night in terms of just, they're going to kill some balls. They have some great athletes. They're going to do some things. They're going to serve it really well, which they did in the 2nd set. But just these certain things that we talked about, hey, this person's going to get these kills doing it this way, but she's also going to do this, and these are the ones we have to pick up. These are the things we have to see. And I thought, within the first 5 or 6 points, a lot of those scenarios we talked about showed up early, and we were all over it. And then we picked it up and then killed the ball. So then it just makes the other teams feel like, oh gosh, okay, we have to kind of swing for the fences against us. And then they start hitting balls out. And then, I think even better, they start hitting the ball at the block. And that's why we could start blocking. But early in the set, we felt like we picked up a couple of things, or we were sitting in right spots defensively, or we were looking at the right things that really helped us, kind of grab control of it. And then, kudos to the girls. They kept it up. So it was they never kind of let them come back up for air defensively. And, when we do that, we're a really, really good team.
So then you guys bounce back again. You got another big one on Sunday, which was on ABC, an early match. They had a huge crowd.
I heard we were right before Caitlin Clark playing too.
Yeah, it led into the WNBA playoffs.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, it was all day a big day for women's sports on ABC. It was really neat. But just again, I guess for that opportunity to play Louisville, where the Final Four is, a top 5 matchup. Just how did you guys approach that kind of matchup and that kind of big the final non-conference matchup of the season?
I mean, if I'm being honest with you, Jess, I just felt like, we played, and this is not a knock against maybe some of the teams I don't mention right now, but we played a big match in Louisville against Kentucky, and then we came back here and we treated the TCU match like a big match, and now TCU's gone on to win a bunch of games and get ranked, and now I think a lot of people are looking at that game like, wow, Melanie Parra, she only had 18 kills against us. Now she's put up 30 against a bunch of other programs. People are like, oh, maybe that team is a better win than I think everyone thought Nebraska was going to win. And then, obviously, we went down to Dallas, and I think SMU took it to us, but that was a big match. I mean, in terms of the environment there. And then Creighton, Arizona State. I just felt like, if I'm being honest, it just felt like another match to us, just because it was a big match. Someone told me the number of the crowd. I was like, really? I didn't notice. When that gym is so big, so you don't maybe feel that, like how maybe we felt it at SMU, just because that arena is a little smaller. But I don't know. If I'm being honest, you could probably ask, hey, girls, they knew they were going to be on national television, but I don't know if they knew, like, the significance of playing on ABC, And, growing up, like, ABC, that primetime, lunchtime window on Sundays was always like, I'm a Laker fan, so I remember growing up watching the Lakers play at that time, so it was kind of cool. But I don't know if our girls even feel that, and maybe it helped, where they're just like, it's just another really good game, a big game against another really good team in Louisville. So, but in terms of kind of what you talked about, I just think that's really awesome that, women's sports and women's volleyball, we're climbing into those bigger primetime windows. Hopefully we get some good ratings. I don't know if they come out yet, but especially trying to do it on an NFL Sunday, I think is a big deal for just women's sports in general.
Is it good too? This program's goal, you guys don't shy around about it, that you want to get to the Final Four. Is it good to have the kind of opportunity to play in that building earlier on in the season? Yeah, first it's a building that I swear I cannot find my way around there. So hopefully I'm back there. We're back there in December, and I can find my way around there. But no, I just think anything, right? It's like from the hotel to the restaurants to even the girls. Hey, this is the same walk we've taken twice to the gym. To this is the locker room. Hopefully, we're in. It's just we're a big program that we have certain goals, and we put those reminders of those goals out for them to see each and every day over at the Devaney Center. So it's kind of nice where, hey, some of the same people that work in the arena, hopefully we're there working, that, we get there and they kind of know how we like things, and maybe all those little things that, that can kind of form a good routine. And I like to think like, hey, us getting 2 wins there, because hopefully we go back in December and that's how many wins you're going to need to win the whole thing. Hopefully those are all kind of good omens and good. The girls go in there like, oh, okay, we've played really well there the first time, and then we played even better here the second time. Yeah. So maybe can we even up our performance level, no matter who we play. And there's a lot that's going to go into us getting back there. We don't want to, look too far ahead, but hopefully, hey, our goal at the beginning of the season was hopefully to play 4 matches at the Yum Center, and hopefully we can get back there and play one more, and then we'll see where it takes us from there. But yeah, we're just happy that we got a win yesterday and finished off, I think a pretty tough non-conference schedule. And, now we're excited to kind of get into the Big Ten here. Besides the episode we did with Lauren Cook West right at the beginning of the season, I think that one was close to an hour. But this is one of the longest episodes I've recorded. It was pretty lengthy, but there was a lot to get into. We dive into the slide. why Andy Jackson is good at it, even talks about his relationship with Dylan Raiola. So lots of great nuggets in this episode. I just was able to publish it and post it, so go check it out as soon as the show ends, right? Wait till Sports Nightly is over on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as well. And The Dig is powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power The Dig and all of Husker women's sports. So, yeah, should be out now if you want to listen to that full episode with Jalen Reyes. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We're back with more on Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
Tune in to the 12th annual Team Jack Radiothon presented by the Home Agency on September 26 to raise funds for childhood brain cancer research. Childhood brain cancer is a devastating disease affecting 5,000 children each year. Current treatments are over 40 years old and leave children with lifelong deficits. Team Jack is working to change this. Become a champion for a cure for just $20 a month. Every dollar counts towards discovering new treatments and ultimately saving young lives. Visit teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Your contribution matters more than ever.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88.
Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose.
Ma'am, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubig here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. The techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty you got.
Call 402-391-2336.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Good to hear from Jalen Reyes. Always
Uncle Jalen.
A lot about Uncle Jay.
Uncle Jalen, yeah, because Dylan, you know, when he first got here, he called him Uncle because it's the Polynesian culture, and Jalen was a little hesitant, but he said he embraces it now. He's fine being called Uncle, and now people ask him about it, and he's like, yeah, that's my nephew, and people believe it and just go with it. But we have a long conversation about Dylan and actually how Dylan trusts his wide receivers and just, you know, puts it in a place where only they can get it. And he talks a little bit like that's a lot how Bergen is, and how much Bergen trusts her hitters and putting it in a place where she knows they can go get it and make a play. And so it's a fascinating conversation, as it always is. And of course, we talk some high chews, some candy. He's a big candy fanatic, and so DB is going to just have to keep bringing back and filling up the high chew jar because the volleyball staff likes the high chews too. It's as much for them as it is for us anymore.
How much reaction do you get from folks about the dig?
Oh my gosh, so much. And it's been great. I mean, I went into it too thinking, look, I didn't play volleyball, and volleyball wasn't big in the Big 12. You know, with Oklahoma, they weren't as good. And, you know, I came here, I had to learn in a hurry. But then I also think, too, with the way that volleyball continues to grow, there are so many fans that understand the game so well and are so smart about the game. But the way that it continues to grow and how many new fans continue to come in, you know, I think there are still some parts of the game that maybe people don't understand as well, you know, being that there are different levels of fans. There's new fans, there's old fans. And so I kind of went into it like, I might ask some dumb questions because I don't know. I'd like to know. And I got to imagine that if I want to know, there's probably somebody else that wants to know. And so and they've been so great about, hey, this might sound, I feel like I say that almost every episode. This might sound like a dumb question, but like this episode, I said, this might be a dumb question, but can Andy Jackson be a 6 rotation player? And so, you know, and he answers it. And I feel like I ask that every time, but they're so great to answer it. And I learned so much. I've learned so much. And I think just because there hasn't been a lot of opportunities to hear from the assistant coaches, that I think people appreciate hearing from them, and they have all such unique and different perspectives. And they're a little bit like position coaches too, in that, you know, Kelly's got the setters and Jalen's got the middle blockers. And so we were able to really talk about Andy Jackson, and then Jordan Larson just can, you know, talk about being a player and that mindset, but then also the hitters. And so it's so great. And, Lindsey Peterson just has a fantastic viewpoint on everything, too. She's been here for so long, has such a great perspective. So it's incredible. I'm so thankful that they are open to it and that they do it every week, and they've continued to do it every week. And work with me, too, because my schedule's changed a little bit, so they've been willing to kind of tweak it. So it's been awesome. I hope, and it seems to be, I get an email almost every week from someone thanking me for it. So I think that fans seem to like it all right.
Over 14,000 yesterday at the Yum Center, which is, by the way, the site of the Final Four. So Nebraska's played there twice already this year, and hopefully we have to worry about that they're back there in December for the Final Four. It is a sport that is just exploding, and now the networks are picking up on it. I mean, ABC had the broadcast yesterday. NBC's had college matches this fall. The TV execs in New York and L.A. are going, whoa, we're sitting on something here in this volleyball, this college volleyball, particularly on the women's side of things, that, the upward trend of that sport is rocketing.
Jalen said today, too, he's like, hey, I didn't know we were opening up for Caitlin Clark, and so then just the fact that ABC then puts the WNBA playoffs on right after volleyball, like they, up against the NFL, they are putting on volleyball, women's volleyball, and the WNBA. So, yeah, it's great. Tip your hat to ABC that they're embracing it. And, hey, we don't care. It's a Sunday afternoon. We're gonna put these sports on because people care, people watch. I haven't seen the ratings yet, but, for Sunday afternoon and starting at 11:30. And he also was saying, too, how nice it was. They got back early last night. And, it wasn't too late of a turnaround. And that's why I think we all like to play at 11 a.m. on the road, because you can get back at a decent time and not be totally exhausted. But, it was a great trip for them. So, and awesome to see them on ABC. There's no doubt about it.
Speaking of ratings, very good numbers for the Nebraska-Illinois game. 4.2 million.
Wow.
For that Friday night game. And, folks, I know it drives people crazy that college football is kind of bled into Fridays, but it isn't going anywhere. You put 4.2 million on a Friday night game, which was a heck of a football game again. They're going to keep doing it. It's just going to keep happening.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly why they're going to keep probably putting Nebraska on, because, hey, the ratings prove itself. The fact that they guarantee themselves a huge number in the ratings. It doesn't matter where you put Nebraska. Like the Peacock numbers, I'm sure, which, by the way, Nebraska's going to be on Peacock. We can talk about that throughout the week, too, if people have questions about that. And there might be a special, I don't know. But no matter where you put Nebraska, any sport, not just football, but volleyball, men's, women's basketball, the ratings are there. And so networks are going to keep doing it.
Absolutely. All right, we need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to spin around the room and give everybody's weekend winners. That's next.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings, very possible. Playoffs, highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now get 1.9% financing on a brand new 2024 F-150 or Super Duty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time again for some Nebraska farm facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Still using that old, outdated office phone system? You need better. At Hamilton, we offer solutions for the modern office. Whether you have an office full of staff or your employees work remotely and are on the go, seamless call handling is important. Elevate your communication and connect seamlessly with clients and staff with Hamilton Business Phone Systems. Choose better and hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team. They're at Woodhouse. They're the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Back for our final segment of our Monday night show. Great show, by the way. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for this one. We always save this little segment to name everybody's weekend winners. And I'm going to start with David, who's been hard at work tonight, running the show for us. David, who's your weekend winner?
All right, so my weekend winner is going to be Parker Kingston from BYU in the third quarter against Kansas State. He did a 90-yard punt return. He almost biffed it and gave Kansas State the ball at the 10-yard line, but then he scooped it up and ran it all in for the 6.
I feel like total it was like 120 yards.
He went clear across the field and then down the sideline. Yeah, I bet he ran over 120 yards. Then they got a shot of him on the bench, and it didn't settle really well with his tummy. So.
Yeah. He wasn't quite ready to run that distance.
That was a little tough on him. All right, Henry, what you got?
Well, mine's in the same state. I'm going to go with Utah. They beat Oklahoma State, and more importantly, saved me in the picks because me and the interns were the only ones that picked Utah, and it made up for Virginia Tech losing.
You guys are winning. I don't know if you are after last week.
I got to go get the crown.
You are not getting the crown, Henry. Mark my words.
And somebody said that I wasn't part of the picks segment last week. Did you guys put me in last place last week? Well, come on. What is that about?
Hey, you would expect nothing less than for us to give you a hard time. So we let you have it. Let you know about it. So.
All right. Well, who's your winner?
Okay. I'm going to go with Lane Kiffin. Greg, do you know what a Get Ready With Me video is?
I don't think so.
Well, it's all the rage on TikTok with all the influencers. They do this Get Ready With Me, and they, put on their makeup. They talk about things that are going on. Well, Lane joined his daughter Landry for Get Ready With Me on game day video. Wow. And it was hilarious, and it's gone viral. It's got over 1.2 million views, and it's all over social media. But he's fun like that. He embraces that, and I like it when those head coaches kind of let their guard down and have a little fun. But a lot of people were saying hashtag girl dad. So he had some fun with his daughter on a Get Ready With Me game day video.
Good for Lane Kiffin. You're right. He's kind of fun to follow on social media. He does some really creative and cool stuff. I'm also in the BYU camp, but for a different reason. Avery Johnson, the K-State quarterback, has a GoFundMe page up for his high school principal who's battling cancer. He's going to donate when he scores touchdowns. Well, he didn't score any touchdowns, but BYU fans have already contributed enough to get him over his $20,000 goal.
Wow.
Good job, Cougar fans. That's really cool.
Great.
They donated to Avery Johnson's GoFundMe. All right, tomorrow night, AD Troy Dannon in Studio Hour 1 for his monthly show. We'll also have a practice report coming your way. Thanks to David and Henry and all of you for listening tonight. Have yourself a great night.
2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nat Sharpe here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with